Hello there folks, and welcome back to Space Engineers, and here we are, we're using the DirectX 11. It seemed to be very popular, so we're going to keep that. And I did a bunch of digging, a bunch of research, and as far as the frame rate drop for my particular computer goes, I completely figured it out, and it kind of makes complete sense when you think about it. The first thing I did was I tried to pinpoint the problem of the dropped frames, and it appeared to happen in video memory. My video memory, I use what's called Open Hardware Monitor. That's a very, very good benchmarking tool if you want to figure out where bottlenecks are on your computer, what temperature your cores of your different parts of your computer are running at, your north bridge, south bridge, your CPU, GPU, and your memory as well. Actually, while we're here, we're running low on oxygen, but that's not an issue. Let's grab some steel plate because we need to finish making some stuff this episode. So, I figured out that the memory is actually at 100% usage, and the reason for that is with the new added parts, they have a lot higher polygon count than previous parts, and there are quite a number of gyroscopes in this ship, so that increased the polygon count quite a lot in the vicinity of the render range, so it requires more video RAM and video processing power for that matter, to render and stay rendered for that matter. So that is why you will get a possible frame rate drop when using well, not when using DirectX 11, but it's just this past update in general. So what I did was I dropped my render range down from 50 kilometers, which was max, and it does say that you're going to get a pretty big performance hit if you have a 50 kilometer render range. So I dropped it down to 20 kilometer render range. 20 meter render range would be terrible. I wouldn't even be able to see the stuff over there. Anyhow, I dropped it down to a 20 kilometer render range, and that incredibly helped the issue at hand. So we're back at a good solid frame rate that you guys shouldn't have any problem with, hopefully. And that also goes to show that if you do want to run this at max settings, you're probably going to want a 4 gig GPU with 4 gigs of VRAM. That's just a personal thought of mine. So if I were to get another GPU, I'd actually probably go with something with more than 4, because eventually all of these blocks are going to be updated, and all of these blocks are going to have a lot more polygons to deal with. So there is that to think about. Oh, we're running low on energy, so let's grab some at one of our medical stations in here. So yeah, the GPU is fairly taxed in this game because it has a lot of things to do physics computations on, because obviously this game is very, very physics based, especially when you crash into things, and your GPU or your CPU has to render, and well, not render, but it has to calculate all of the blocks as they crash into each other, which is why if you have a better CPU, when you crash into things, there won't be as much of a lag spike, so to say. And when you crash into things, you'll notice sometimes you just fly through the object without any damage actually having happened. That's because your CPU can't keep up with all of the computations it needs to. So if you have a good CPU, that will never happen, and usually we don't have any of those issues with the setup that I'm running, so that's kind of nice. Alright, oh, we're actually running low on oxygen too. It looks like we're probably gonna have to fill up on that. So there you go. If you want to figure out how to improve your performance on pretty much any game, and you want to figure out where your bottleneck is on your computer, I would highly recommend Open Hardware Monitor. It's a free hardware monitoring software, and it gives you all sorts of great statistical data on all of the various parts of your computer. Your motherboard, your memory, your CPU, and your GPU, and it is really good if you want to overclock your computer, and I know that this particular CPU that I'm running, we could overclock it no problem, especially if we would use the helpful information on a free piece of software like Open Hardware Monitor. Okay, well that's enough about that, and you guys really did like the idea of keeping it in DirectX 11, so we're definitely going to do that. Definitely indeed. I just didn't realize how much crap that we actually have on screen, because we've been at this for what, 61 episodes already, so there's a lot of stuff that this game has to render and process data for, so that's kind of why the frame rate is kind of terrible. Well, it was at any rate. So that's all resolved. I didn't grab any steel plates, so I should do that. And we're probably actually going to head back to Space Base Alpha, actually, because we've never finished our project there, which is kind of, I don't know, annoying. I know we just captured our military transporter, but I'm kind of like a dog. Once I capture my fire truck or my garbage truck, I don't know what to do with it. But we will come back to it at some point. And I do want to get rid of that beacon and make it our beacon, because it is kind of annoying that it's red. So I'm going to fix that as well. And I'm going to make sure that it does have enough uranium so that it doesn't go out, so we can always find it again. Alright, there we go. Heavier armor blocks are almost done. I think we're going to be taking the mothership to Space Base Alpha. We're going to be taking this gunship to the military transporter to turn off the beacon over there, or turn it to our control, rather. And from there, we'll go to Space Base Alpha and finish that, because we started work on it a couple of episodes back. Well, more than a couple of episodes at this rate. But we never actually finished it. Oh, one more thing to notice in DirectX 11. You can't paint the missile turrets. Or at least they were painted in DirectX 9. I don't know if they're going to be, if I can repaint them in DirectX 11. Let's see. Yeah, I can't repaint them in DirectX 11. Well, that's unfortunate, but I'm sure that's just a minor little issue or a bug, but that will be resolved probably in a near future patch. Not as though that's a big issue or anything. Okay, well, I think that's good. This ship is in much better shape than it was before. There's a mining carriage off in the distance. Not too concerned about that. Yeah, we don't really... Well, we do have missiles. We could shoot it, but there's no real reason to. After all, what are we going to do with it? Because I think we already have a mining carriage, so there's that. Oh, whoops. I left the door completely open like a derp. Well, there goes all my oxygen. Is there any oxygen left? Nope. I probably wasted it all. Oh no, it says the oxygen level's high in here. Okay. Just didn't take very long to fill, apparently. So, let's go to the military transporter, and I will see you guys there. Alright, well, we are back at the military transporter, and we're going to just quick flip over that beacon to our control. We can name this whatever we want to, but I think we'll just keep it as captured military transporter. And then we are going to go back to Space Base Alpha, which is God knows how far away at this point. I don't even think we can see it. Oh yeah, it is. We can see it. It's 36,000 meters away, so it's going to be a bit of a journey for us to get there, but we'll get there. Actually, for you guys, it'll probably be just a quick little instantaneous jump cut, but 36 kilometers is not a small distance to travel in this game. Alright, well, let's quick flip this over. Well, looks like it's going to be on the inside. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the beacon can be found... Is it near the interior of the ship? Well, let's go towards the front of the ship and go inwards to see if we can find it. I believe it's actually right on the inside here. Okay, so it's right below that. In fact, we might actually be able to reach it without burrowing that far. In fact, it might be on the outside of the ship on the bottom, which would make sense, actually. Yeah, I think it is. It's 4 blocks away, so... Oh, no, there it is. It's right there. So let's just take this thing back under our control, and then we will be all hunky-dory, or something like that. There we go. Military transporter under our control completely for the most part. Alright, and how do we get out of here? I think we can burrow our way through the top. There's probably only one steel plate. Yep, there we go. Make it through. Might be a tight squeeze. Oh, yep, there we go. And it looks like that's just hovering in space. Let's fix that. There we go. Now it doesn't look so weird. Alright, oh, so this is where all the gyroscopes are. I've never actually been in this room before, I don't think. There's a lot of good motors and stuff in here if we did want to grind it away. Which we might do at some point in time, but that's not going to happen right now because we still do have a backlog of things we need to get done. Starting at Space Base Alpha. And I just realized, where did we park our Voyager ship? Was the Voyager ship back at Space Base Alpha, or was it where we parked our mothership last time, which was quite far away if I'm not mistaken? Well, that's kind of interesting because I don't see it showing up anywhere, unless that's it over there. That might be the that might be the Voyager ship off in the distance, perhaps? Yep, there's 2 antennas right underneath each other, so that's definitely it. Anywho, enough babbling, let's get on with this, and I'll meet you guys back at Space Base Alpha so we can finish building that, finally. Okay, well, we're not back at Space Base Alpha, but that's because, as I forgot, well, not really, I didn't forget, but we need to bring the mothership with us as well as that welding ship with us as well. So, we are going to make sure that everything is attached that needs to be attached. We do need to be careful because the, as we can see, the landing gear are very, very glitched, and they completely blew up the bottom of this ship, which we're going to have to leave behind, which is fine because the mining base should have some sort of protection, and we do have other fighters back at Space Base Alpha, if you guys remember, so that should be more than adequate to protect us. And we're gonna put this guy somewhere close to this landing pad. And then we need to grab that that welding ship right there, and we'll attach it via landing gear. We could be using merging blocks, which might not be a terrible idea, as I think they've fixed some of the bugs with them. And that would allow us to use the thrusters on this ship to help us maneuver the big ship. Not that it would really make any difference whatsoever, because the mothership is just that much larger, but it's theoretically possible. Also, I'm going to be getting rid of that warhead on the side of our ship that we put on last episode. There's no real reason to have that protruding from our ship. We can keep the other stuff there just because, but I don't want that warhead exploding and blowing up my beautiful, beautiful mothership. So let's see if we can't get this to go down, down, down. Perfect. Just about landed. Just about landed. There we go. And lock the landing gear, turn off the ship. And we will hop on out, grab our grinder, and hopefully not get too close to this to trigger it. Oh, we actually have to run into it pretty hard to trigger it, so should be fine. There we go. And it's already gone. Luckily, the explosives don't take that much to grind away. Okay, there we go. We are going to hop in here, close our doors. In fact, where are all of our doors? I know I keep my doors open. I'm terrible at that, so take all these doors, close them. There we go. Probably lost a little bit of atmospheric pressure by doing that, but shouldn't be too much. And I know we do have a lot of ice in here, so it will be easily regenerated. One thing I noticed with this DirectX 11 is the bloom is really, really bright and the dark is really, really dark. That appears to be most of the difference. I mean, some of the bump map textures seem to be a lot better like this. The light reflects off it a lot cooler, I suppose you could say, but as far as that, the actual lighting just seems to be darker in the dark areas and lighter in the light areas, because you can see the little light here is blooming really, 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 really blooming for such a small little light, but that's alright. It does give it a cool atmospheric effect, I suppose. And the glass does have a much, much better reflectivity to it. It actually looks like glass, so that I can't complain about. Alright, and we're going to be using, oh man, I forgot how big this ship is. We're going to be using this, and we're going to be using the gravity drive on it to get us to Space Base Alpha, which is below us, if I'm not mistaken. So, we're going to slowly move ourselves away. And once we get ourselves pointed at Space Base Alpha, we're going to be going. And, yep, that's right. I forgot to add more gyroscopes to it, but I never expected this thing to be a spring chicken when it comes to how maneuverable it is. We're already moving at a decent speed just using our regular thrusters, but our gravity thrusters will really, really help us when we kick those things in. So, what I need to do is I need to turn off number 6 and 7. So, 6 and 7 are off. And we need to turn on that, and we should have a whole bunch of G's. Well, the G's are going to be behind us, and there we go. We're off. Actually, I'm going to turn this off, and we're going to turn the gravity generators off, because there's one last thing that I didn't do last time, and that is, first off, we can turn our inertial dampeners off, and that will prevent our ship from fighting the gravity generator, but I do want to be able to take the gravity drive and reverse it. So what block is that? So we're going to go to number 8. So groups, artificial gravity, gravity drive, 8, and we are going to decrease acceleration to the point where it'll go in reverse. So, alright, so that will help us with that. So let's turn on our gravity drive again, and let's go. And I think I will meet you guys back when we're much, much closer to Space Base Alpha. Actually, you know what? I think I turned on the wrong gravity generator. Okay, well, I'll meet you guys back. Well, here we are. It looks as though everything survived the journey. I'm guessing. Oops, I forgot to turn my artificial gravity back on. Actually, I don't think I will, because I think that's going to interfere with the gravity on the station over there. And I completely forgot that we had that scout ship over there. Oh man, it's been a while since we've been here. You know what? We don't have any oxygen supply on that station, so we're going to have to make that a priority. So let's exit out of here and see what there is to see, because I think I've forgotten what we were doing here at the station. I know we were in the process of building the first and second floor before we got distracted by an update, which is always what happens, and I'm sure we'll get distracted by another update in the future, because I've heard talks of larger asteroids and planets coming into the game, but don't know exactly when or what they're going to be like. But I know that they do want to be doing that, or they do want to do that at some point in time. So that would be just so awesome if we could get planets in the game. But anyhow, I'll probably get really distracted by that. So, wow, I never realized how good this glass looks with the DirectX 11. It no longer looks like a weird, odd-colored film of, I don't know what you'd call plastic. It actually looks like glass. It's got proper reflections and everything. However, I'm not really sure. What do I actually see in the reflection? It almost looks as though I see a big black ship off in the distance, and I don't think there is a black ship, unless it's reflecting this somehow. Because it actually looks like that's what it's reflecting. Weird. Yeah, and it looks like it's also reflecting this ship behind it. Well, that's very bizarre, but you know what? I'm not going to complain because it's cool. Alright. So, with this mothership, we're going to have more than enough material to finish our home base here. And because, well, more things have been added to the game, we actually have a use for the first floor. We're going to use that as our... first off, we're going to make airlocks in here. We have to make airlocks in here. Wow, it almost looks like there's no window here at all, but we know that there is. Well, that's cool. Anyhow, I keep on getting distracted by how cool this game looks now. Whoa, what are all these spots from? Weird. Alright, anyhow, I'm going to have to put an airlock in here. We're going to have to put oxygen generator, an oxygen tank, probably several of them, and we're going to probably want to feed the rest of this station as well with oxygen, so that means this will probably get its own oxygen tank. Actually, I don't know if it will. This might remain a place that does not get oxygen, because I think because of the refinery here, it does not technically count as a closed circuit or a closed system. So this particular room may never get oxygen or atmosphere in it, but that would actually give a use for this area right here. We'll make an airlock for it. And then the rest of this station will be pressurized, like a normal space station would be. And then upstairs, we're going to have our command and control and stuff like that. Well, oh well. I think we should definitely get started on that. What do I have in my inventory right now? A bunch of scrap metal. Well, that's useful. All right. We wanted to make these windows, if I'm not mistaken. So which means I'm going to have to use girders. And I think we're going to be using the 2x3 flat windows. And they're not going to be yellow, they're going to be white. Well, actually, it doesn't matter. We're going to be repainting them at any rate. So, let's go to the mothership, grab a whole bunch of girders, and start framing out the second floor of our station. And then we're going to grab our welding ship, fill it up with all of our goods in here, and we'll get started. We don't need the old scrap metal or that or that. We actually do have some girders on us. Don't need small steel tubes. We need more girders. Don't need an oxygen bottle right now. In fact, I wonder if we can throw this into our oxygen generator. Haha! Haha! There we go. Perfect. We don't really need steel plate on us, but I suppose we can take it just because. And what else do we need? We need some bulletproof glass, of course. Lots of bulletproof glass. And that's about as much as we can carry with us right now. So we're obviously not going to be doing this all by hand. I just wanted to get some of the stuff fleshed out. So let's see. Let's rotate it like this. Nope. That's the way we want it, but there we go. And we need probably, what, 3 or 4 of these. And rotate this around like that. 1, 2, 3, and 4. It looks like we're actually going to need technically 4 1/3. Yep, because we're going to have to fill up this line right here with stuff. Unless... that'll look really funny. Well, I have an idea. I'm going to put you here. Here, please? Okay, you are there. And you can go right next door. And then the middle... Is that actually the middle? That is actually the middle. That is the direct middle. We will put some light armor blocks up the center. This is going to look very strange, I think, because the bottom of this is not quite symmetrical. Whatever, the top will be symmetrical, that's what matters. However, that will be bugging me for some time. Alright, and this should only take 3 exactly. There we go. 1, 2, and 3. And then this one's going to have the pillar in the center again. 1, 2, pillar, and then 1 and 2. And let's put that pillar in there so we know where it goes. There we go. And then this one is going to be the exact same as the other side. 1 and 2 and 3-ish. Come on, 3. There we go. And looks like we're going to be able to finish at least one of these windows. Make sure the tinting is on the right side. And it's not. Oh well, I'll fix that. Anyhow, that's going to be an idea of what the top of the station is going to look like. We're going to put a roof on that, maybe cover it with solar panels or something. Maybe even another landing pad would not be a bad idea. So we can give more room for craft to land. Anyhow, I think that'll be it for this episode. Thank you folks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.